A very good evening to you and welcome to Monday Night Football with me, Ida Oringa, where football is always first. Now, we have a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. Are you still suffering from some of those Monday blues? Well, fear no more. We are here to remove them. Now, it's lots of questions because, let's face it, so much happened over that weekend. I mean, Harambee Stars were in action in the AFCON qualifier, Ghana, Ethiopia. Let's move over to Europe. So many World Cup qualifiers going on there. The transfer window is still wide open. So much happening there as well. And who better to discuss all this than my two pundits here? It's Trigger News himself, it's Fred Arocho, as well as Mathare United assistant coach Salim Ali. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Salim, how are you? How was your weekend?
Good, relaxed, watching football. That's the most important thing that we always learn from seeing what other countries, other clubs are doing. And I believe it was a nice weekend. Surprises in football, which we always know that it's a game that we always love, and something that you love, there is always a surprise coming, which it was good.
Football is indeed life. What about you, Arocho? How was it?
Well, I didn't have somehow enjoyable weekend because the national team, Harambee Stars, lost to a relatively low side, if you may ask me. I was expecting more resistance from our opponents, but what I saw was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, definitely. We will be actually dissecting that in a bit, but we certainly want to hear from you. Use the hashtag MNFKE. Talk to us on Twitter. We are asking you and have been asking you a couple of questions throughout the course of the day. Do you think Stanley Okumbi is the man for the job? What about the youth structures? What can Kenya learn from England? I mean, their under-20s won the World Cup this particular weekend. So much more. And of course, even one of the most important questions, what are you as the fan doing to boost our national team? Do Kenyan fans do enough to support the Harambee Stars, or are they too quick to complain? Because we've noticed, of course, it's very quickly to Twitter to critique them, to criticize them, but have you done your part? So we want to hear from you. Talk to us, use the hashtag MNFKE. Even better, call us into studio live to contribute into our discussion. It's 0711046444, the number that you can talk to us directly. So, as my two pundits are saying here, Stanley Okumbi's run as Harambee Stars head coach, unfortunately the unbeaten run came to an end this weekend. The Stars were narrowly beaten by Sierra Leone 2-1. Now, Arocho, to you, what did you make of the game generally?
Well, as I said earlier, it was a disaster because I was expecting a lot of resistance from Sierra Leone, though we all know that they don't have a league since 2015. There's no running league in that country. So basically, they're depending on foreign-based players. But all said and done, our team was also wanting in several ways. Our defense was quite disjointed. I didn't like the way we were reacting more so when we lose the ball. The fact that the pitch was not was quite slippery was also another issue. But that one was really, you cannot really say that the pitch was slippery because both teams played in the very pitch. But our team was somehow disadvantaged in the sense that you could see most of our players going down each and every tackle. For example, Marcelo on the left side, it was a disaster for him. Look at the two goals, quite cheap goals in the sense that anytime the ball came into our defense, we all went down and we gave our opponents all the opportunity. Going up front, I was also disappointed by Olunga. I thought he could have scored a goal. There was a rebound that he got quite in a very good position. The goalkeeper was down. I thought he could have buried that. I also was disappointed by Masoud Juma, who also got a very good chance. So I think we had the better chance in that match.
Oh, wow, Arocho. I'm just hearing disappointment after disappointment. It's a sad case. But as Arocho is pointing out, Salim, the issue of the pitch, maybe Arocho is thinking it's not too big of a deal, but certainly it was too big of a deal for a lot of people on social media. That pitch was certainly an issue, Salim.
It's normal in football. You don't get the pitch that the way you want. That's one thing you're supposed to understand in football. And when you go to Western Africa, it's day in, day out rainy season for them. Yeah, it can be sunny, but the rain there, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. But the sad thing, which I can echo what Fred is saying, the sad thing is our players are professional. They're supposed to carry two pairs of boots. They have the rubber boots and they have the screw boots. whereby if it's rainy time in the pitch, you have your screw. You can manage playing with the screw boots in that. It was really surprised seeing most of the Kenyan players having only one pair of boots, and they are not the screw type, they are rubber. That's why we are saying that it was really sad for that kind of behavior. We didn't think more like professional players. The pitch, it's bad for both teams, but look at Sierra Leone. They had grip. Each and every move, they had grip. Reason is because they had good shoes for that pitch.
Right.
Yeah, and without even that one, I can even say that it was really sad for Kenyan team that playing at home for 5-6 matches, playing in Machakos, playing at home, and you know very well your first match you will play away in Sierra Leone, then even that one was a poor planning.
So Salim talking about lack of professionalism, but I wrote you to you because in as much as everything you're talking about, Olunga had a chance, he blew it, yeah? But it seems there was a general conversion problem because it wasn't just Olunga. I felt like there were a lot of chances created in the first half that we didn't necessarily take, not so?
Yes, it was most of our chances. We didn't take most of our chances because if you ask me, even the goal that Olunga scored was a half chance in the sense that it was a foul. Though he did it quite well, carved the ball into the net. But look at the entire match. We got a chance towards the first 20 minutes when Masood Juma found himself, surprised himself, if I may use that word, and he found himself just in front of goal. He took a shot on goal and the goalkeeper had a save. To support or to echo or to even put more emphasis on what Salim is saying, I blame our professional players. Eric Marcelo is a professional player. You don't get into the pitch with one boot. He was playing as if he was putting on a slipper because each time he was going down. Look at the way Mugubi managed to control the situation, because anytime Mugubi goes to the pitch, he will go to with close to 2-3 boots so that in any case anything happens, you can save yourself. Going by what we saw, you'll realize that each and every goal that was conceded by Harambee Stars was a goal that we could have really avoided. Look at the first goal, as I said earlier. The ball came from the left side. It was across. Brian Mandela went down. Marcelo went down on the first instance, and then the ball was tapped into the goal. The second goal, same scenario. The ball came from the left side across onto the right side. Marcelo could not hold himself. He went down for the first time. He went down for the second time, and he had to bring the Sierra Leone striker Mahmoud Ahmed and for that penalty. All said and done, and I'll echo once again what Salim said, we must prepare. And I think as much as we would like to blame the federation, because I think they also need to psych and prepare these players for the match, any player who is a professional should behave as one.
So professionalism once again coming into the picture. Arocho is talking about some of the goals that we conceded. The first one, Salim, was actually pretty shocking for me because I didn't understand how he was not marked by any Harambee Stars player to actually do a clear run from the midfield. Surely our defense is also at fault.
It's a tactical thing. When you look at, I can say in Kenyan side, each and every coach, they have their own vision, which I cannot say Ukumbi's vision is not good. His vision is his vision. But on my side, the undoing which I saw over the weekend, it's we have a very good player, Musa Mohammed. He plays in Gor Mahia. And when you look at the position that he plays in Gor Mahia, he's a central midfielder. Kalaba always play on the right, wing back in Zesco in Zambia, or play in the central. At the same thing, when you look at that ball, Musa Mohammed, look at his natural behavior. He was inside like a natural stopper. You can read a player to see his movement, then you can say that this player, he plays such a position. When you look at Musa Mohammed, when the ball came, he was inside playing as a stopper. The time that he went outside, maybe the timing for him going outside, it was too late. And the 45 ball which was being brought in, and the striker, Kamara, who was disturbing our two central defense, he played a very big role because initially he was supposed to control the ball and he did dummy. After did dummy, then of course Kiwi, the other Kamara, had a chance in scoring. And it was a tight one. I cannot blame Boni. Reason is because there was a lot of players in front of him. It was a surprise shot which bounced nearly to his hands, and there was no touch, but a very good goal.
Yeah, quite a good goal indeed. And do remember, we are asking you, are we the fans, are we the Harambee Stars fans here in Kenya doing our part? Are you doing your part before you go quickly, to complain and to critique the players? Do you think the Kenyan fans are doing enough to support the Harambee Stars? So, of course, a few comments already coming in from you. We do have Eric Ochieng on Facebook saying, I think that the fans are just full of expectations, which in my opinion is justified. We've always been behind the team. We're never called to do so. The problem is that most of the times the team disappoints us by not fighting to reward the fans. Now we need to at least qualify for the 2019 AFCON as a team. Arocho, your thoughts on that?
Well, when you talk about the fans, the answer has to be made through the two sides of the coin. You'll realize that fans will stream into the pitch when the team is performing. Though at times the players needs the fans to try and uplift the team. Look at, for example, the match we watched when Ghana thrashed Ethiopia. You could realize that the fans were really behind their team, regardless of the fact that the first few minutes they couldn't have really, they didn't score. But eventually, when they got their first goal, all the other goals came in. But I'd also like to urge our fans, at times, when we go to the pitch, we should not just go to celebrate a goal.
Yeah.
Most of Kenyan fans go to the stadium to celebrate a goal. You don't need to be there if you're just there to celebrate a goal, because in a soccer match, averagely you'll have close to 2 or 3 goals in the entire 90 minutes. We should go to cheer our players, in the sense that even when the team is not playing well, we need to try and uplift them and give them moral support. And I think that's what's lacking so far.
Yeah, and Hawkins Somula is agreeing with you, Arocho, on Twitter. He's saying that negative critics are those who truly do nothing about the game. A true fan supports the team in wins, draws, and defeats. So that's Hawkins So on Twitter. Use the hashtag MNFKE. Give us a call as well. Let us know what you think about what we're discussing here. Salim, what are your thoughts on the fans? The Kenyan fans, so quick sometimes, eh?
I always say fans are the best coaches in the world. And I know if I was in their shoe, I would like to have a team that wins day in, day out. But sometimes it's very difficult. It's impossible. There is always 3 results in football. There is a win, draw, and a loss. Maybe they are really surprised with what Kenya did in Sierra Leone. A team ranked 113 in Africa and Kenya 72. There's a very big difference in between. Recently, their performance at home, it hasn't been very good. Even Madagascar won there 5-0 against Sierra Leone. So those are the kind of small concern that fans they do have, because, like I can say on my part, as coaches we give fans reason to argue in terms of the performance. Coming back to the national team, I can give an echo to the national team. Positively, they played on their part very good. They lost 2-1, but there is one thing we're supposed to understand. In my perspective, if I have players who have given him a chance to try and play some few friendlies, player like Samuel Onyango, a very good offensive player, he has played a lot of friendlies, which we knew very well that Samuel has gel enough in the team, in the first 11, playing against Eric Yohana in number 10, Olunga up front. We have Victor Wanyama, we have Anthony Akumu, we have Timbe on the right. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that we always see. Coming to a weekend match where Samuel played 3, 4, 5 friendlies, playing very well. Then coming to a game, putting Masood is a very good player, but his first chance in the national team and playing on that role. Maybe those are the kind of things even fans they are looking at, because we always say before fans say anything, they have seen something. Yeah. And definitely we cannot say that they are not right. It's something which we have to rectify on our side and try to move on.
All right, Salim. So a quick one from you. Do you think that Okumbi played a tactical game?
It was a tactical game.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Arocho, a very quick one before we take a break. What did you make of Brian Mandela's send-off?
Well, if you ask me, it was justified. Brian had no option. If I was Brian, I could have done the same. I played in that position when I was playing soccer, and I know how it's critical. Brian had to do what he did, because for me, he took a blow for the team. because in any case, Brian couldn't have done what he did, then they could have scored. So he preferred him going out because of the red card, because he was the last man, and us not conceding. So Brian was justified. He took a blow for the team.
Okay, took one for the team there. We do have a winner on Twitter telling us, Salimia Ali from Kisumu Dala, hashtag MNFKE. That's the hashtag that we're asking you to use. He's telling me we need to pack the stadium like Sierra Leone. So clearly, as you saw there just before this on your screen, a stadium, or rather the stadium where the Sierra Leone Stars and the Harambee Stars played out the game, and it was actually packed to absolute capacity. Can we be able to match this in Kenya? I think we do. We can. Salim is nodding his head. He clearly thinks we can. The potential is there. It's on us to actually fulfill it. On that note, let's take a break. I'm having a look at some more of your comments. Don't go far. This is Monday Night Football. We'll be right back. One, two, three, 4, 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, in the second half, Churches subbed Juma and Onyango came in for Johanna. Was this effective, Arocho? Now, what did you make of Wanyama's performance? And who in the Leon Stars team impressed you? Tag MNFKE. My name is Ida Waringa, and this is Monday Night Football, where we put football first. Now, Salim, I was just telling you right now, a very weird emotional comment coming in, saying, I no longer go to support Harambee because the results are obvious, especially for competitive matches. Let the team try and earn our trust back. Now, that's a comment that's come in. Salim, it's a bit pessimistic, not so?
It's really sad to see such kind of comments in football. That's why in Kenya, fans, they don't give morale to teams. When you come to the stadium, you won't see a lot of fans. Look at Sierra Leone, the ground. It was packed with such kind of fans. One reason is because they love the team, despite the result. Some few weeks back, before they play Kenya, they lost to Mauritania 5-0, Sierra Leone, at home. But look at the fans.
Yeah.
They are number 113 in the league, in Africa. Kenya are 72. So we should give our players, despite the result that is coming. Because one reason is because when the team goes to the field, there's 3 results that we expect as coaches. But our fans, they're supposed to back us from the word go until the end. When you look at Europe, teams are dropping down in the league, going to relegation, but look at the passion of the fans. Right. Those are the kind of things that if our fans in Kenya will try and emulate such kind of things, maybe it will be a motivator for the team, for the country, and for this football going front.
Yeah, you're right. You've actually made a very good point there. We see the likes of Sunderland and very many other teams that have been relegated, but their fans go with them, be it to tier 2, be it to tier 3. They don't now say, we're not going to go for Sunderland games anymore. Arocho, do you think Okumbi is the man for this job?
Well, initially I was convinced that Okumi could do something for the national team. Sorry, but slowly I'm tending to think otherwise.
Really?
Because, yes, I'm tending to think otherwise because I think it's too big a shoe for Stanley. Because I've gone to several of their training matches. You'll realize that yes, he's in control, but a lot of stuff comes from his assistants. And I think also there's a lot of pressure that comes his way, being that he's never been into such a level. He's never even handled a youth team as far as the national team is concerned to success. So I think there's a lot of pressure coming his way. And more so now that he lost his match in Freetown, and the next match he's playing in Nairobi against Ghana, who won 5-0. I'm sure that the pressure is going to be massive, and he might not really survive the pressure, because playing against Ghana in Nairobi, Ghana coming for a win. And in any case, God forbid, Ghana picks their win in Nairobi, then we'll be out of the race.
Yeah.
And in any case, Kenya is out of the race. I don't think that he'll survive.
Oh, that would be horrible. And Odor Felix on Twitter saying the coach is not good tactically and his selection and position of the players is bad. I am a fan and I go to the stadiums. It's painful to watch. We do have at Kiragu saying, nope, he's not the man for the job. We need to put our money where our mouth is. Get a proper experienced coach. Motivate the players. Stop playing meaningless friendlies. So the 11 games unbeaten. Salim, I want your perspective on this, especially as a coach. It did nothing, basically, for the Kenyans out there.
It gave something to Kenyans. Maybe they're taking it on a different angle. But for a coach, I will take it differently because the rank that we were in Africa, coming back to 72, it's a really big improvement. My question is, or my concern in those friendlies are, when we play here in Nairobi, in Machakos, playing, we have a referee, a local referee in Kenya. So anytime they officiate, we have an advantage. Look, over the weekend, we have a foreigner referee, a foreign country we are playing in the qualifying, because on my side I can give the referee, he officiated very well. The penalty was well spotted, it's a very good penalty. The red card was a very good red card, because even yesterday in the morning, I just saw the match again. Look at the fouls that Kenya were conceding. A very good tackle. But we feel, as Kenyan or as coaches or players, feel that the referee was biased. Reason is because the friendly that we were playing in Nairobi against Congo, Congo scored 2-3 goals, which it was being disallowed. So we feel that we are above all. But coming to an international where CAF are the people who are selecting the referees in the matches, those are my simple concern in the team. Yes, we've managed in the ranking coming to 72, but in terms of confidence, in terms of mental aspect, it was not the right thing.
We're still lacking there a bit, yeah? So some second half substitutions are Rocho, the likes of Chechi Onyango coming in for the likes of Johanna. Did it make a difference? Was it effective?
Well, by that time, we had already lost, and I think the coach was just now trying to salvage anything that he could. And that's why we did the substitution. Well, for the Cheche substitution, that was an obvious one in the sense that we had to keep our defense intact. We had to make sure that we don't soak in more goals. So once Mandela left, we had to have the four. In that defense, Marcelo, we had to have Calabar, we had to have the Cheche who came in, and then on the right side, Musa Mohamed. Having said that, I think if you ask me, our weak link was our striking force. As I said earlier, Masood Juma was put in a deep pond. He's a good player. I've watched Masood play against Bandari when he's playing for K-Sharks. I watched him score a marvelous goal against Badare in Machakos. But to give a player his debut in an international match, in an away fixture is way too big. I think that's why he was swallowed. We might blame him, but he was swallowed by the occasion.
All right, so Masood being swallowed by the situation there, as Arocho is pointing out. We have a call coming in. Hello?
In an away fixture is way too big. I think that's why he was swallowed. We might blame him, but he was swallowed by the occasion.
Okay, I don't think the connection is
so
quite too good there, but let's move on. So basically, last week, 4 Kenyan players refused the national call-up and actually opted to play in Tanzania in the Super Cup. Of course, this raised quite a bit of concern and a few questions on social media and the general Twitter sphere, but that's when the issue of player allowances came into check. Now, 750 shillings, Salim. I want a quick thought on that. Is that enough to motivate the players? Clearly not.
It's shocking and really sad. I thought that we were moving forward. I remember when I used to coach in the national team, assistant coach, players were getting 1,500, which it was peanut for them because this is a national duty. These players, they are carrying the whole flag of Kenya. Even 1,500 is little. Even 5,000, it's little for the players a day. I don't know the reason why 750. That's why I said there are some things which we do in football it gives reason for other things to happen, like players refusing to the national team. And I know maybe those kind of players that refuse to come to the national team, we know national team is the first priority. We are supposed to honor the call-up, but people are looking on their finance. If I go to the national team for 5 days, for 10 days, it's 7,500. If I go to Tanzania SportPesa for 2 days, it's more than that.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that our players, which sometimes I blame players because for them they look at the money in front instead of their performance, which it's a win-win situation. If you don't want to keep the players happy, then we are giving them reason to make their judgment, deciding where should the player go and what should he do.
Yeah, but the 750, Bob, okay, we do have a call. I will get to that in a bit, Arocho. Hello there? Hello?
Deciding where should...
Hello? All right, maybe the connection is not quite too good today. Hello? I will get to that in a bit, Arocho. Okay, hello, please there? Reduce the volume of your television. All right, not the best there. Arocho, we're talking about something here, the 750 shillings. But a lot of people actually blaming FKF when that directive comes from the SRC. But do FKF have a responsibility here?
Well, I think first of all, as Kenyans, we must really know the genesis of all this and how this thing came about. First of all, the 750. Normally, it is 750 from the Federation and 750 from the government. When you look at the 750 from the government, somehow guys would like to justify that is the way the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has put it. But I'd like to challenge the Sarasarem committee that this is a national team, and somebody says that even the athletics, the Paul Tergas of this world get that amount. But I don't think that one is enough.
Yeah.
Then secondly, I think the federation needs to up their game. You cannot say that if the government is giving 750, then you add 750. I believe that Nick Mwendwa was elected on a change platform.
Yeah.
He needs to bring some motivation. He needs to motivate these players. And I think now the federation has some revenue. They're getting a lot of money from their sponsors. SportPesa is part of their sponsors. They also, the other day, they unveiled the uniform that the team is going to play with. They're getting a lot of revenue from that. So I think the federation has an obligation to up their game. We need to get players paid well.
All right, so we have yet more comments coming in. Odor Felix telling us Waruru has 7 goals and Masood has 3, but Waruru was benched. How now? I am so tired. Adongo Victor saying, no, Okumbi is not the man for the job. We need a coach who will motivate the players and who will garner the respect for the players, just like in Europe. So in as much as Europe is a good benchmark, I do believe it's good to actually be able to facilitate and promote the structures here in Africa, because this is Africa at the end of the day, and we can do just as well. We do have the potential there. Call us 0711046444. Use the hashtag MNFKE, and when you do so, be sure to actually reduce the volume on your television when you give us a call. Well, that's it. We are taking another break, that is. We will be right back shortly. Keep talking to us, keep tweeting us, and we'll be receiving some more calls in the next segment. This is Monday Night Football.
The National Super League is not for the faint-hearted.
Kama wewe mwanaume sidhani kama unaweza cheza, ni ball ngumu sana.
Playing the NSL is more difficult than playing in the Premier League.
With the largest number of clubs in the land, only those with experience achieve.
Nimeenda Ujerumani, nimesoma mpira.
And I've done my diploma in Brazil.
With the largest pool of talent, only those clubs with strategy win.
When people run headlines that say KCB Vaults raided and they are referring to the football club being relegated, that sounds off. So we had to clean it up very quickly.
With diverse ambitions, only those clubs with a vision thrive.
We'll be listed on the stock exchange. We want to have our own stadium.
Don't miss NSL Club Life only on Bomba Sport.
They say life is a game and people the players.
Siku nikimugonga siendelee na game.
naenda nafanya shopping yangu mzuri ya nyumba, nguo zangu pale Moi Avenue na kurelax.
Wakenya wana bet sababu ya pesa.
Youth saizi hawana chapa. Pia jobs sai Kenya ukiangalia hakuna.
You can't win unless you play. But sometimes playing the game can be frustrating.
I only lost remaining 2 minutes. Nikapoteza 780,000.
But other times, the returns on investment can be life-changing.
Asubuhi kuamuka, nashangaa hii message ni ya nani? Kuangalia 43,000 niliweka table, sikuamini.
Be a smart investor. Never make the same mistake twice.
Siwezi bet nao, labda ni FC.
Arsenal imekuwa kinipatia pressure sana.
Before you place a bet, watch the odds with Aida Waringa on Bamba Sports.
It's Monday Night Football right here on the home of true fans, Bamba Sport, with me, Aida Waringa. So we've been talking about the Harambee Stars and that unfortunate narrow loss to Sierra Leone. We did lose 2-1. We are also asking you, is Stanley Okumbi the right man for the job? Do you think that we as the Harambee Stars fans do enough, or are we too quick to go to Twitter, to go to social media to critique and complain about our players? Your comments have been flooding social media. We do have at Ombogo on Twitter saying it has been unnecessary to support a system that never took the fans, the players, or the game seriously. I want a quick one from Arocho on that. A very quick one before we move on, because we do need to talk about the Super Cup. Arocho.
Yes, we must take our players serious, our team serious. And that's why I said the national team, the federation needs to up their game. Initially, in the previous regime, the revenue was quite limited. But I can see some goodwill coming into the federation. And they need to reciprocate that and let it trickle down to the players. I'm not expecting a Kenyan player to earn anything less than 5,000 on the worst side. I'm not expecting, and I believe it can happen because the kind of money, and these days players don't stay in the camp for long, 3-4 days before they leave for their for the international assignment.
Arocho, I totally agree with you. Anything can happen. We have the potential, the structures are there, the money is also there. It's just maybe a problem in the implementation. But we do have a few calls coming in. Let's take one of them. Hello, the Super Cup. Arocho.
Yes, we must take
Hello?
our serious, our teams.
Let's try taking in another call. Hello there. All right, so let's actually move on because yet more football was played this weekend. It was a Super Cup happening in Tanzania where the Mashemeji Derby took itself to our neighboring country. Now, Gor AFC, I do have to say it's the second time, Salim, in about 2 months that Gor Mahia have beaten AFC Leopards by the same margin of 3-0.
A derby is a derby, and you know very well that when Gor and FC are playing, it's always a tough match, despite the result, the passion in football and everything. But for this, some few months, Gor Mahia carrying the day, both maybe playing in Kenya and outside a neutral field in Tanzania. But the most important thing when you look at the two teams, I'll give credit to Gor Mahia. When you look at the Gor Mahia team, look at the Gor Mahia squad, and look at the AFC squad, they are going under transition. And I believe if AFC could have almost the same squad than Gor Mahia, maybe we could have seen something different. But at the moment, we know very well in terms of the first 11 and the people who are in sub for Gor Mahia, they have very top-class players.
All right, Arocho, Gor were missing so many first-team players. AFC were almost full strength, surely. Well, what's happening to Ingwe?
There are several reasons that, if you ask me, did FC Leopards in. First of all, I didn't like the fact that they had an assistant coach all through the tournament. The first match, the second match, they brought in their new coach just 2 days just before the finals. And I was really surprised that the coach was in the pitch. For me, that was total confusion. You don't get into a team's bench just 2 days after arrival and you expect to perform because one, you don't even know these players. So I think communication was an issue with Leopards. Getting back into the game, I think FC Leopards are suffering from what I might call football history. They're suffering from football history more so when they are meeting their counterparts Gor Mahia. Look at in 1980, when the first time they met outside this country, these two teams met in Blantyre, Malawi, where Gor Mahia beat FC Leopards 3-2 in a finals, Sekafa finals, which was quite a big feat then. 5 years later, the very two teams met in Khartoum in 1995 when Gor Mahia beat FC Leopard once again 2-0 when Dr. William Obwaka scored the 2 goals. So 31 years later, these two teams met again in Dar es Salaam. And look at the kind of run that Gor had in the tournament, scoring a total of 4 goals before the finals. FC Leopard had not scored a goal in open play in the entire tournament, the 2 matches they played before the finals.
Yeah.
You could realize that they were really struggling more so up front. Flamengo, Yakub could not really gel well up front, and even in their midfield. And I was even surprised mid through the match, they made a substitution in that midfield that they brought out Benan Mangoli. And the moment they pulled out Benan Mangoli, for me, Leopard had already conceded, because Mangoli was the only player who could spray the ball left, right, and center. And in any case, he was their best chance of a goal. So all said and done, kudos to Gor Mahia. They also have issues with their coach, who was not there in the entire tournament. Then he came into the finals, he sat into the bench, and he was really celebrating. Though, if you ask me, kudos to Zedeki Otenoziko, who picked the team, regardless of the fact that it was a disjointed side, but he picked the team and made sure that the team made it to win the trophy. Right. Kudos to Gor Mahia, and this shows that Gor Mahia had a very good kind of recruitment. You remove 8 players out of the first 11, you bring in another 11 players, and they're still performing. Yeah. So it's the kind of the quality that you have in the team, the kind of mental strength that you have in the team is what made them survive and won the tournament.
Clearly winning the tournament, they will be facing Everton come next month. Very good exposure for the players, not so Salim.
Really, each and every player wants to meet such kind of teams, and going in Europe, maybe this is their chance of maybe seeing with the right age and giving them an opportunity to play in Europe. I believe they were focusing in playing in Everton for them, and they took this tournament very serious, and of course they're the champion now.
All right, let's quickly just move back, because a lot of comments are coming in on what we were previously talking about. We have been asking you throughout the course of the day and also on this particular show, do you think Stanley Okumbi is the right man for the Harambee Stars? Should he lead our national team? Yet more comments coming in. Okumbi has tried. Now get someone who will do the real thing. That's Osumo Shem. There we do have Joshua Musotsi on Twitter saying he was never the guy from the start. He should never have been appointed. Do you think Stanley Okumbi is the right man for the job? Coaches?
Yeah, he's there. He's the right person. Playing 11 matches, maybe you can say the level sometimes is difficult, but playing 11 matches unbeaten, taking a team to 72 position, we cannot deny each and every coach, they have their own vision. And I believe, let's don't judge coaches with only one match. We have another match playing against Ghana. And the most important thing is what is our aim as Kenyan, as Harambee Stars? Do we want to play in AFCON, or do we want first to build team in CHAN and win CHAN? Those are the kind of steps that we're supposed to look as coaches, as a country.
All right, good stuff there. Salim saying, how about this? Let's give Okumbi yet another chance. We'll see. It's too soon maybe, but let's actually move on from the Super Cup to the England Under-20 World Cup. As you saw and as you heard, England basically won their biggest international title since 1966. Arocho, is this the team that can go on to win a senior World Cup for England? The Three Lions.
Yes, definitely. I saw the way they play, the kind of mental strength, because as coach normally says here, soccer is about your mental strength. They survived some scare in that match, and kudos to Dominic Calvert, who scored the 3rd goal for England in any World Cup final. That was another scare. I was talking about the scare that they had. Though the mental ability, the mental strength that they had really made them carry the day. But such incidents don't come in as fluke. Soccer, as I say, is not a game of. Soccer is not an event. Soccer is a process. You have to go through the process so that you can start reaping your success. And it's by design. It is not by default.
Yes.
When you see a team lifting a trophy, of such a magnitude. It is by design, it's not by default. Why am I saying so? 6 players who played in this tournament won the 2014 Euro under 17, and you could realize that it's just a transition from the under 17, and now they're playing in the under 20. So basically, you have to start from the youth foundation, the youth structures, and this is exactly what England is doing. I've seen a lot of teams building their teams around such youth teams. You'll realize that a team like German in 2006 and 92, they built their team and success came 10, 15 years ago.
And I'll actually want us to touch on that, but I want us to bring the mindset closer home, because what we're asking you is, what can Kenya's youth structure learn from England's Under-20 World Cup triumph? What can Kenya's youth structure learn from England's Under-20 World Cup triumph? Because I do believe there's some people out here, there might not be many, but there are some people out here trying to do the right thing in terms of sport development. I recently, Arocho and Salim went to a sports academy based in South B, doing quite some good work there. But let's actually go back to England here, because the transition, I feel, is like, what's a problem sometimes with this team? Because let's have a look at maybe the English team. I do believe they reached the under-19 Euros, the Euro finals back in 2009. Half those players were never heard of again, Salim.
Sometimes it's really sad when you compare African football or Kenyan football with Europe. And we know the best talent, maybe country, especially in East Africa, it's Kenya. And we waste such kind of things. And the most important thing in football is to groom. Arocho has said, all of it, football is a journey which you have to start from somewhere and end somewhere. And when starting, you're supposed to start at a teenager, under 8, under 12, under 14.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that we're supposed to build a platform before you get the success.
Okay, I'm sorry, I do have to interrupt you. Let's get in a call. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello? Hi there, hello? Okay, maybe not the best connection. Salim, you were saying something.
There is always a transition when you want to build something. Arocho has given an example in German. And the most important thing is, like I said in Kenya, what's our ambition? Do we want to win CHAN or AFCON, to go to the AFCON or World Cup? Those are the kind of things we're supposed to have. In our mindset, we are supposed to get under 18, under 17, playing. We've seen even South Africa going, not South Africa, Zambia going to semi-final for their first time in this kind of tournament. It shows very well that they are building team. The national team is not performing very well. They lost over the weekend against so-called small country, but look at their youth structure. They played in the Under-20 World Cup. They performed very well. They were the last maybe quarter-final, which shows very well that, that was the first time for them in that level. In Kenya, if we can put our mind together and try to build such kind of thing, KPL had started that, such kind of thing, each and every team to have an under-20. But sadly, for this April holidays, because of SuperSport, now the tournament is not there. Who are suffering are the boys suffering. Those are the kind of things that we're supposed to move in our mind. If there is sponsor, if there is no sponsor, the tournament is supposed to continue. Reason is because we are building Kenyan. We are building players for tomorrow, not for now. Those are the kind of things. Look at Mathare United. They're benefiting now, and Thika United, with such kind of players playing in under-20 for about 2 to 3 seasons. And those are the kind of things, if we have, and we create a national team under 17, we create a national team under 20, we create a national team under 23, then eventually we'll have a very good team at the end of it.
Rome, indeed, Salim was not built in a day. It takes
true.
a while, it takes a process. Let's get in another call. Hello there. Hello, what's your question or comment?
My comment is about
Yes,
giving young players a chance.
yes.
For example, like Lookman for Everton, he was playing for the yesterday's game, and he has done it very well because in Everton they gave him a chance to prove himself up. And yesterday he showed the Venezuelan guys and the people that when somebody given a chance, He can prove people wrong. So that's my comment.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Let's get in another call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi. What's your comment or question for
Hello.
us today?
I just talk about Okumbi. Okumbi should be given time.
Okay.
He's a good coach for now. Since he picked the team, we've just drawn for a while. This is the first loss. Okay?
Yes.
That's my comment.
All right. Thanks so much for calling in. Another call. Hello there. What's your comment or question?
Hello?
Hello. What's your comment or question, sir?
I want to ask the game of Maya.
I think it's important that you reduce the volume on your TV set. All right. Let's actually move on. Thank you so much for calling. One of the viewers there calling in Arocho and saying, let's give Arocho time, rather, let's give Okumbi time. He's still the man for the job. Another one talking about the youth structures. Let's give young players a chance. But Salim was talking about the structures need to be there. You've seen with England a transitional problem because sometimes for them, the players that win these sorts of tournaments normally don't go on to win the senior, bigger tournaments. But I want us to have a look at a set case here. Nigeria under 17 back in the day. These were the sorts of teams that went on to win Olympic gold. The Nigerian Dream Team, the Kanus, the Okochas.
Well, even before we even move to Nigeria, let's look at the very studio we are sitting in. Salim Ali and Fred Arocho are product of youth football in Kenya. This is where we produce the like of Francis Kimanzi, Ali Mohammed, Sefu Mutie, Brian Okumu. We had, you know, because those days, in the early 90s, there was some youth program that was set by the Federation and Coca-Cola. This was a youth system that players could be picked from way down in the streets or in the rural areas. They were brought together to play for their provinces. Then we were having 8 provinces in Kenya. So each and every province used to give their best in the under 18. Then we all used to play together, either in Nairobi, Mombasa, or Kisumu. Then the best of the best were picked to play for the national team. And this is where we picked the likes of Sefu Mutie, who eventually moved to the national team. This is where we picked the likes of Maurice Wambua, who eventually went to the national team. So in the mid-90s, that went dry. And you are realizing that these days, it's just about fluke. Look at Mugubi. It's a fluke. Look at Dennis Oliech, if you ask me. It's a fluke. So we are depending on fluke, and I don't think that with fluke we'll go anywhere.
So a lot of it you're saying is down to luck. It's not intentioned. There's nothing in terms of structure that's going towards this will work. It's all luck.
Ask Salim.
Oh,
all these players that are coming up,
all right.
It's just about luck.
Arocho, we do have to take a break. Unfortunately, it's all down to luck, as Arocho is pointing out here. But we will be taking more of your calls. I am having a look at more of your comments right now. The transfer window is open, and that's what we'll be talking about when we come back. It's Monday Night Football.
They say life is a game and people the players.
Siku nikimgonga siendelee na game. Naenda nafanya shopping yangu mzuri ya nyumba, nguo zangu pale Moi Avenue na kurelax.
Wakenya wana bet sababu ya pesa.
Youth saizi hawana chapa. Pia jobs sai Kenya ukiangalia hakuna.
You can't win unless you play. But sometimes playing the game can be frustrating.
I only lost remaining 2 minutes. Nikapoteza 780,000.
But other times, the returns on investment can be life-changing.
Siku kuamuka, nashanga hii message ni nani kuangalia 43,000 niliweka ite sikuamini.
Be a smart investor. Never make the same mistake twice.
Siwezi bet nao labda ni FC.
Arsenal imekuwa ikinipatia pressure sana.
Before you place a bet, watch the odds with Aida Waringa on Bamba Sports.
When it's Monday night, then it's time for much-awaited football banter.
Well, look no more.
Get all the goals, in-depth analysis, and the latest news in the world of football.
Join me, Aida Waringa, every 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. on Monday Night Football, right here on Bamba Sport, the home of true fans. right, these are emotive topics we're talking about right here on Monday Night Football with me, Ida Warenga. Commander Carol telling us Okumbi is decent, but this is not Kariobangi Sharks. This is Harambee Stars. We need more experience for now. So Carol's saying Okumbi out. Oh, wow. Next we'll be knowing it's Okumbi out hashtag similar to Wenger out. But Salim, let's talk about the transfer window. But before that, use the hashtag MNFKE. We are still picking up more of your calls. It's 0711 046 444, the number that you're currently seeing on your screen right now. So let's get to that transfer window. Aubameyang to PSG, what were your thoughts?
It's a big step. And the main aim sometimes in football is the Champions League, which we've been saying here. Aubameyang going to the to PSG, I think it's high time to get maybe some few competitors. When you are in a position and you feel comfortable that day in, day out, they depend on you, it's no problem, it's good. It keeps you motivation. But sometimes as a player, you need to see to work hard extra. When you look at on your right and left, you see there is almost players who are almost the same level, which over the weekend, maybe coach struggled to pick the first player to start in the match. And for that, I think it's a motivation for him, and I think it's a step higher from what he had achieved in Borussia Dortmund.
Arocho, unfortunately, I totally disagree with Salim for one reason. I felt like Aubameyang needed to challenge himself. I don't think League One was the place to return. I felt like maybe sometime in the English Premier League, maybe in the La Liga would have given us, you know, his caliber as a player.
Well, your prayers might be answered because towards the end of the day, some few hours from the moment we were moving into the studio, there were issues that perhaps he might not move to PSG because, you know, Patrick Kluivert was sacked from PSG, and he was basically the guy who was pushing for that deal. So he might not really move to PSG. But all said and done, this is a good player, scored a total of 120 goals in the 189 appearances for his team. So basically, he's a good sell for any team. And you'll realize that other than the PSGs of this world, there are very few teams that can really afford him because of the kind of structure he's coming up with, the kind of the confidence that he's bringing into the team. So I believe, well, let's wait, because the news I've just talked about is perhaps he might not go to PSG because the guy who was pushing it, Patrick Kluivert, was sacked, and he might not go there.
All right, we'll see about that. Let's take in a few more calls from you, the viewers at home. Hello there.
Hello.
What's your comment or question?
I think Aubameyang should consider going to the English Premier League.
Exactly.
Than League One.
Oh,
you know, English Premier League is more competitive. And then Fred Arocho.
Which team should Aubameyang go to?
He should go to Arsenal or Tottenham.
Arsenal, they don't have money to buy him.
As you can see, Manchester United, they are eager seeking a striker.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. We'll see about that. Well, Arsenal afford Di Marocho. We'll see about that. Let's take in another call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi. Thanks for calling. What's your name and what's your comment or question for us?
My name is Evan. I want to thank only the station.
Just reduce the volume on your TV, please, sir. All right. As you're telling us your comment or question.
Hello?
All right. Let's move on, unfortunately. Thanks for calling, though. Let's take in another call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi. What's your comment or question for us?
Okay, my comment is that Okumbi
Go ahead.
should be given more time to prove himself. I think he has done better.
All right, so Okumbi should be given more time to prove
And,
himself.
Aubameyang?
Okumbi, it's divided. A lot of mixed opinions and emotions from you, the viewers. It's 50-50, but we can move on. Before we move on, let's take another call. The last one for now. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hi, sir. What's your comment, or what do you have to ask us today? Go on, please. All right, let's just take those in for now. I'm having a look at more of your comments. We do have at KevOE1 on Twitter saying, come on, Arocho. That red card was not part of the game. Besides, part of the squad was in TZ for the Super Cup. We all know that.
Well, I don't know from which angle he's basing his argument. Because, well, when you're in the pitch, you really need to look at the best option. Because that red card, in any case, he couldn't have gone for that ball. The way he went for that ball, then it could have been a straight goal. So when you look at it from a patriotic point of view, you'll realize that he did the right thing because he took the blow for the team. For example, in any case that ball went in, we could have been talking about 3 or 4 goals. Because once you started conceding, once you started soaking in pressure, and so you're playing away, it might really affect you. I still support Brian Mandela. If I was Brian, and I know if Brian had the next opportunity to attack in such a situation, he will do the same thing.
All right, let's move on. Salim, to you, as a coach, if you don't need a player anymore, how would you tell it to him? Would you text him? Would you write him an email? How would you do it? Because it was painful what Conte did to Costa, just via text.
It's really sad. For me, I'll call a player, I'll sit down with him, and I'll just tell him point blank that you won't be my plan for coming season. I need the player who have different this. But this is the same thing that we've been talking about in this place. Diego Costa showed the team that he was bigger than the club. He wanted to go to China at the moment that each and everyone were depending on him. And the best thing in football is if you move or if you do something in a bad way, then God bless the team. Look at that time when Costa wasn't playing. Each and every player was scoring in each and every angle. Coming to Williams scoring, Hazard scoring. Then it shows that in football they don't depend on one person. It comes a time they are champion, they are playing the Champions League. Chelsea, it's big. Then what next? Then the club is bigger than you. Then that's the best thing that a coach can do. There was a time in need, you didn't need the team. Now, point blank, we don't need you. Go play where you're supposed to play.
You're shown the door.
Yeah.
But Arocho, it was a warning as well. You can't think of it that way to other players, that destructive natures will not be allowed at the Stamford Bridge. Because we've all had the rumors. It's never confirmed, but you hear the rumors. The likes of Hazard causing a tantrum when they want to.
Well, I don't know why Salim is hard on Costa. Look at the way he's done his job for the last 3 years or 3 seasons that he's been playing at Chelsea. A total of 51 goals in the English Premier League for the 3 seasons that he's been there. I will not support any day, regardless of what the player has done, a coach sacking a player through an SMS. It's totally unprofessional. It's totally uncouth. And I don't believe in such. I believe in any case there's an issue, let's address it. And that's why I have a problem with Salim. Each time he'll try and protect his fellow coaches. When Conte has misbehaved, let's just say it in white and black. Conte misbehaved. There's no way you can sack anyone, even your watchman. I'm sorry to make that as a reference. Even your watchman, you cannot sack him on text. In any case, he has an issue. And they say that 2 wrongs doesn't make a right. He might have messed up as a player, but you as a manager, you should rise above that. You should take it in your stride and make sure that you follow the procedures to sack him. Because Conte is not just any other player. He scored 51 goals, for heaven's sake.
I think Arocho got me wrong. Because I said, if it's me, I could have called the players in front and tell him point blank.
Yes.
For Conte, what he has done, I think it's not the right thing. Could have called the player, sit down, we don't need you, maybe try another team, that's it.
All right, finally you guys agree on an approach.
No,
I
like that. I had to drag him.
I like that. But guys, Ibrahimovic was actually released by Man United. Did you support the move? A very quick yes or no from you, Salim.
If you sign one year contract, despite your top scorer, but I think for Zlatan, it was age. The age had a problem with him, and in terms of the transition, I think it's a good move for him even to move and try to concentrate on other stuff.
Yeah, but can't deny it. As you're seeing, the stats don't lie. It's 46 games, 28 goals, 2 trophies, man, at age of 35 years. Well, we do wish him the best. Now, a very quick final one about the Southampton-Liverpool clash. It was a bit weird, Arocho, in regards to Van Dijk.
Well, it was weird. And well, at times I normally say that well, soccer is a very strange game. It's a very strange game, and at times there are certain decisions that are made which are very painful. I don't want to comment much about this incident, but I just want to summarize by saying that it's sometimes soccer is unfair.
All right, definitely is unfair. But let's take in more calls. A lot of you calling in to tell us what you think. Is it about the AFCON qualifiers? Is it about Okumbi? Is it about our youth structures? Let's take in more of those calls. Hello? Hello, what's your comment or your question for us today? Hello?
Can you tell us about Mbappe in Manchester United, coming to Manchester United?
Okay, we can't quite hear you. Let's take in another call. Thanks for calling, though. Let's take in another call.
Hello?
Yes, hello. What's your comment or question for us today?
Okay, I want to say that you say Arsenal, they have no money to take Aubameyang. But they have tabled 100 million for Kylian Mbappe. So don't underrate them. And then Fred Arocho.
Yes.
Arocho is
what
here, yes?
Do you have on the side of Manchester United transfer?
Well, Manchester United so far transfer is quite cold, but I think 1 or 2 players are coming in by the end of this week. We should know. See, major players. I'm not just talking about any other player. I normally like referring to big names because Manchester United, of course, is a big team.
All right, Man United, a big team. So many likes of Morata and everyone coming in to Manchester United. Let's take in another call. Hello there. Give us a quick comment or question, please. Hello? All right, let's take in another call next.
Hello.
Hello, yes, sir. What's your comment? What do you have to tell us today?
Okay, is it true that Aubameyang is now PSG or is just moving to PSG?
Aubameyang, maybe Salim, you can answer him there. He's asking, is he in PSG or will he be moving to PSG? We'll get to that in just a bit. Let's take in another call.
Hello.
Yes, where are you calling from, sir? Give us a quick comment or question, please.
It's about now.
Please reduce the volume on your TV set. Next. I'm sorry, thanks for calling, but let's take in another call. Hello? All right. Comment or question, please. All right, let's actually answer that particular viewer. Maybe he came in mid-conversation. We were talking about Aubameyang to PSG. Actually, let me take it back to you because you were telling us it's a bit hanging in there, right?
Yes, just some few hours before we stepped into the studio, the news that were just coming in that he might not be going to PSG because the guy who was behind his transfer, Patrick Kluivert, lost his job. And he might not really be in a position to help him get into PSG. But all said and done, this is a player that I'm sure will get a good side, will get a good team as we progress towards the new season.
All right, so Albion Achok saying, yes, we are quick to judge them. That is the players. They were 10 men after all. They lost 2-1. What if they were 13 men and lost 8-0? Well, that's Albion Achok. Let's move on very quickly. Black Shoelace on Twitter saying, then who do you think should take his place? And don't say a foreign coach. Let me take that to Arocho.
I'll always stick with our local coaches. I believe that we have competent coaches who can handle the national team. Look at the number of occasions that we performed well as a country as far as soccer is concerned. We did well when we had Mohamed Heri and went to the Africa Cup of Nations. We did well when we had Jacob Ghost Mulee. So basically, Kenya does well when we have our local coaches. But in our minds, we feel that when we have a foreign coach is when we can do well. Most of these foreign coaches, if you ask me, are just tourists. Guys who have failed elsewhere, who come into this country and take advantage of the fact that some of us, we feel that that color is superior to ours.
And they take advantage of the money as well. Let's end things on a rather positive note. We do have a comment coming in saying the job is big, definitely, but Harambee Stars is getting bigger and they are just getting started. The Stars will definitely beat Ghana in my books. Well, that's a chalk talking to us on Twitter. We do have to wrap things up on that note. So much engagement, calling in, talking to us on social media. We do have to say thank you for engaging us tonight. Catch us same time, same place next week for more Monday Night Football right here on the home of true fans where we put football first. Have a good evening.